From the News Channel 5 Network, this is OpenLine.
Good evening and welcome to Ask the Attorney. I'm Amy Rao Mohan, your host today, and excited to host Ask the Attorney with Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm in Clarksville.
I'm glad to see you, Amy.
Good
Always.
to see you too.
Fun to have you around.
Always is a great time and a great opportunity, really, for people to get all of these legal questions answered. And we try to take as many calls as we can. You can call the number that'll be at the bottom of your screen, 737 plus 737 7587, and it's your chance. A lot of people, they wait for an attorney. They feel like an attorney's too expensive or too intimidating, whatever it might be. But here's your chance. Kevin's right here.
Well, I love to encourage people to call, and really, the show, we love to share. It's kind of like, well, the answers, but it's no fun if you've got all the answers and somebody really needs it, because we can give it to them tonight, and it's an exciting time, really. It reminds me a lot, kind of like Christmas. Christmas is a fun time, but you need someone to share it with to really enjoy the max of it. And so knowledge is power. The more you learn, and just because you learned a little something, then take it, give it to your children, your grandchildren, your neighbor, and just a little advice sometimes can save you lots and lots of grief. And so, they always said years ago, everybody hates the lawyers. Well, the truth of the matter is, everybody loves their lawyer. And I've had to hire lawyers over the years too, even when I've had my own large firm. And I thought it was best sometimes to get outside counsel. And I've always loved all my lawyers. In the French Revolution, when they came in, the first thing they said, kill all the lawyers first. And you said, well, why? Because the lawyers were always thinking they would never give up. They're always figuring a way out. And very interesting.
Yeah. Well, I practice here in Nashville doing mostly litigation, business litigation. And Kevin, you're in Clarksville. Tell me a little bit about what you do.
Well, basically, we do a little bit of everything. We have 3 locations, the Kennedy Law Firm. I've now been a lawyer just shy of 32 years. We handle criminal matters, bankruptcy matters, divorce matters, lots of car wrecks, wrongful death. Basically, it's a full-service law firm. We have a large support staff and a lot of lawyers. And I always say there is no such thing as the perfect lawyer, but you get a group of legal minds, even young legal minds. They're brilliant, and they'll come up with the right answer.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before, but we learn a lot. I learn definitely a lot from you. But every time I'm here.
And so much of the time, I'm one, and they'll say, well, Kevin, that girl is only a paralegal. Why do you get her? Because I like to hear myself as I go through it in my analysis. And they say, well, I don't know. But it really, at the end of the day, we have the right answer.
That's right. Well, please call with any of your questions. Again, whether it's civil, criminal, family law, we should be able to answer them here tonight. And again, that number is going to be at the bottom of your screen, 615-737 plus 737-7587. We've already got a few calls here, so we're going to take some of those. We've got Lucy who's been waiting. Hi, Lucy.
Hi, y'all.
Hello.
Hey, I've got a property question. Can you answer that?
I'll take a shot at it. Let's hear it.
Okay. I ran into several elderly friends, and recently an elderly couple friends of mine are having a problem. They have some young neighbors that are letting their tree grow over their roof.
Yep.
And they've asked them repeatedly to trim it, and they basically told them just to get over themselves.
Right.
And they also have planted a bunch of bushes right on the property line where when he mows now, it hits him in the head, and they don't have much yard space, and it's annoying, and he's asked them to trim that, and they've told him to get over himself about that too.
Okay. Well, we've had this question several times. It's very aggravating. They say good fences make good neighbors. Well, quite frankly, they also have an old adage. They said, well, sometimes it's better to ask forgiveness than ask for permission, because right now we already know they're going to say no. If I had that problem, what I would do is go cut those limbs on my side, and I would straighten it up. That's what I would do. Is that legal or illegal? It's a good question. I try to be a good neighbor, but I really don't want it to damage my home. And you really don't want to get in a lawsuit over it, but so that was what I would consider doing.
All right. We've got Linda, who's over here on line 2. Hey, Linda.
I think you got the wrong line.
Okay.
Okay. Can we help you?
Oh, it's Brenda.
Oh, Brenda.
Okay,
Sorry
Brenda,
about that.
go ahead.
Okay, I've got two questions. I've been told in one matter that I need to hire a process server, so I'm just wondering what the expense is involved in that. And the second is, I've got another matter that I've already got a complaint before the Board of Professional Responsibility, and this is a civil matter. They're both civil matters, and I probably will have to do something on my own. I had an attorney, and basically I don't have an attorney anymore. He took my money. He gave it back, but he didn't do anything, and so I'm just wondering if there's a way that we're past time restrictions and everything, because that's all. I mean, that's part of the reason this is before the Board of Professional Responsibility. So, is there something that I can file, and in which court would you recommend I do that?
Well, first off, your first question, how much does it cost to usually get something served? You know, it wouldn't be unreasonable to pay $40, $50, $60. If they had to travel far, then you would just have to pay the mileage on that. Back to your other question. People always have the right to represent themselves. Many courts are so complicated that you cannot operate in that zone because you didn't fit within what the guidelines are, and they dismiss your case. But it's been my experience that if you had a problem, the Board of Professional Responsibility is a great resource. You know, they can tell you what to do, and you can file in any court where it would be competent jurisdiction. If it was a general sessions matter, that would be under $30,000. Sometimes that's described as the small claims court. And then the Chancery Court and Circuit Court have concurrent jurisdiction. They're a little higher courts than the general sessions. So you can go.
And it may be, if this is a complaint in front of the board, that it's just an administrative hearing in front of the board as well.
Right, and that's very true. And a lot of administrative hearings, the rules of evidence don't apply. We get those notices all the time with the state of Tennessee, and they say, remember, the rules of evidence don't apply. So always hire a lawyer. Amy and I say it each and every week. If she and her family needed someone, she'd hire a lawyer. If I needed someone, I'd hire a lawyer. So if I would do it for myself and Amy, I certainly recommend doing it for you.
That's great advice there. We've got Chip here. Hi, Chip. Chip, are you there?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Go ahead.
I'd like to know, and I know this is kind of a provocative question, why in court do police get away with telling so many lies?
Okay, well, you know, that has been a problem ever since the American judicial system has ever been formed. It's not perfect, but it is the best system on earth. And that's why a skilled lawyer can ask under cross-examination, and he will point out inconsistencies with the police department. I remember they tell a story of an old lawyer, and he said, watch me give this honey, the bear, just a little honey. And what he was meaning was he would ask some very soft questions and lead the police officers down that road, yes, 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 and then he would close the door. And many lawyers, that's why they say cross-examination, a person cannot say the same lie twice the same way without some kind of diversion, adding to, subtracting. And so it's those inconsistencies that I've used over the years that won so many jury trials. So I try to be a very nice lawyer, I try to be a skilled lawyer. Some days you have to be tough. And it all depends on that witness. Do we know that people tell lies in court? Yes. Do we know that's wrong? Yes. Is it perjury? Absolutely. Is that a felony? Absolutely. Can you be prosecuted and convicted and sentenced? Absolutely.
Right. Cynthia here. Hi, Cynthia.
Yes.
Go right ahead.
Cynthia, if you'll turn the volume down on your TV set, and then go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, I'm turning it down.
All right.
There. Yes, yes, I have been,
I've gone before a judge, I can't think of his name right now, for about 4 or 5 restraining orders.
Okay.
My son has put these restraining orders against me, and that's usually unusual. Usually it's, people who are girlfriends and boyfriends or something like that.
Yes.
But my son, and I think he's been influenced by his father, because his father was a domestic violence person. I mean, he used to beat me every other day, and I was threatened with my life, and I did get custody of the children several times, but finally the 4th time, even though I had a judge to interview me and see what he could think about me, it was David Brandon. And David Brandon thought that I should have the children. And so when my husband found out about that, he said he would kill me first. And he certainly wasn't going to give me child support and alimony. Now, what I'm saying now is that my son, David Traynor, he's gone in front of the judge. I can't think of his name.
Well, just tell us in general what you're...
And I thought that was a little unusual.
So they've turned your restraining orders down 4 times. Is that the question?
The question is, how can I get rid of the restraining orders? The last one, he said that I sent him dangerous packages, and it was a birthday card and a Father's Day card. And
Okay.
that was deemed dangerous packages by the night court.
All right, well, first off, everyone's entitled to a hearing. And if you were to send a letter, and if the people receiving it said, oh my goodness, we told them no correspondence. And a lot of times when we have these delicate situations, you already know when you send anything, you're going to set off a firestorm. That's a good time to have a lawyer. You let your correspondence be made through lawyers, and you shield yourself to a whole lot of animosity. Also, if there is a hearing and it gets down to a judge's interpretation, if he uses that and based on that they have other evidence, whether they're telling the truth or not, the judge can only hear what is presented in that courtroom. And many times the rules of evidence apply, and they say, well, so-and-so told me. He said, no, ma'am, that's hearsay. But with a skilled lawyer, he'd say, yes, judge, that's hearsay. But there's an exception to the hearsay rule, and here's what it is. So again, it goes right back to what I'm saying. That judge can call it. If you don't have skilled counsel, you will come away aggravated, disappointed many times.
Right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but please keep calling that number at the bottom of your screen, and Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm in Clarksville will be here to answer your questions.